this can't be fixed. Worthless. Junk. Oh well. Time for some modding.
Mongoose Jake here, and what we're going to be doing today is to go over modifying the Buzz Bee Sentry. Again, I did a review of that pistol that you see before you, and I'll put that link right up there where that little card pops up. So if you haven't seen that review, mouse over that and open it up in a new tab and watch it when you're done with this. And I would appreciate it because that always helps the channel out. But what we're going to do is take that same pistol and we're going to modify it and see what we can gain out of it. Now you can take two routes when modifying this blaster. It is a two-shot over and under. Now that of course immediately springs to mind, well, I can shotgun it. And sure, you could. The way that the plunger tube works is it rotates. It doesn't have a smart AR system. So you could just simply take out a large drill bit and drill through the backside of both, pop out the air restrictors, and then of course, open up these holes here and even remove the rotating mechanism. You could do that. I wouldn't, but you could. And then it would fire off both darts at once. Put a much heavier spring, pad the plunger head, call it a day. And you'd have a two-shot shotgun in a small package. Well, I wouldn't do that to this, personally. What I'm going to do instead is to just simply go through the normal steps of increasing the power and while retaining durability. And the reason I don't want to shotgun it is, in my opinion, if you're going to pull out like a last-ditch shotgun pistol, which that's what that would be, you wouldn't be using this as your primary if you're going to shotgun it. You might as well just do that to a Nerf Triad, because having an extra dart come out is always better. If you're going to shotgun it, having a 3-dart spread going all directions instead of just 2 would of course more than likely guarantee a hit. And I've shotgun Triads and they turn out pretty nicely. And it's great to stuff in a pocket because Triad's even more compact than this is. This is more of a holster or a big pocket type pistol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what you need to do to modify this pistol for yourself. And you will need, of course, screwdrivers to take it apart, a pair of needle nose pliers to rip out the dart post, and the spring that fits this best is a strong arm spring. Highly available. Get them for wherever you prefer. I bought this one in a 4.5 kilogram. Let's get up close and see that. I bought this one from NF Strike. That's where I'm going to always source my springs from now on. I like Worker and Orange Modderburg springs, and for certain builds I will use the little bit more expensive, nicer springs. And of course, everybody has their favorite company to support. NF Strike springs are dirt cheap, and so far just as powerful, if not, I think some of them are slightly underrated. Like some of their 7 kilogram springs test out more comparable to 8 or 9 in points. And hey, I'll always take that. But in this case, we're going to do a strong arm spring replacement, and I will show you right away a comparison between the stock spring and the strong arm spring. And then we're going to get moving, and I'll do some time lapse to keep this video from being an eternity. Strong arm spring and Buzz Bee stock spring, almost the exact same length. The strong arm spring is much thicker, and of course this is a 4.5 kilogram. This is not an insane. It's about maybe double. Just going by the finger test. It's not a gigantic upgrade. So we're going to see, because this thing was already hitting decent feet per second and hitting in the mid-70s, even in stock form. So we're going to see. We'll set our stock spring over here in our little dish, and we'll keep that set aside. Actually, and we're going to check this. I'm going to do a couple wraps of E-tape underneath the O-ring, because that one is fairly loose. Let's see if I can get that to pop up. Yep. See the space here underneath. The space here underneath. You see, I can easily just push that right off the plunger head. That's too loose. So we will put a little bit of E-tape underneath there, and I'll do all that off camera. But what I'm going to do is I will show you. Need to either I would not actually drill out the back to make it bigger. So we're going to go with the B route. You can just drill straight through and force the dart post and air restrictors and all of it out by just, brute force with a huge drill bit, or B, tear into it with the needle nose pliers, do a twisting motion, rip it out, and then we can take the time to clean out the rest. Okay, there's the air restrictors cleaned out. I can do a little more touch-up, but for the most part, that's all you gotta do. You've seen, I use my needle nose pliers to eventually rip these out. I did that off camera, but the best way was that I did in the end use a very small, fine drill bit to weaken the air restrictor platform and the dart post platform, and then I basically just hammered around with, as you've seen, with the flathead screwdriver, and it's pretty simple. Just find one of the posts that act as a support beam for the dart post and air restrictor, and just tap on the back of the flathead screwdriver to basically punch it through. And when you're done, all you gotta do is make sure that the airways are clear, and you don't really have to get everything down there. Make sure the airways are clear to where you're looking for maximum efficiency. Airflow from the plunger tube being pushed by the plunger straight through and able to get a more direct path to the dart so it can exit the barrel faster. That's all we're after. And we'll continue on, and I'm going to come back again here after I get some of this other stuff done. Okay, one of the things I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to use some hobby foam that I've cut into a rough circle, place it inside of the plunger head here to take up some of the dead space, and then I'm going to fill in the remainder with one of my favorite modding supplies, hot glue. Now by doing this, and make sure to make a lip on the plunger head itself, by doing this, this will help increase, of course, the efficiency of the airflow, as well as provide a little bit of protection for the plunger head itself. Because I'm going to build this up thick enough that it will become a bumper. And of course, for some springers, this is more of a necessity than others, but I'm going to start taking the whole approach of better safe than sorry. There's no reason not to do it. But it is that simple to pad a plunger head. A little bit of hobby foam, help take up the dead space, fill in the bit with some hot glue, and there you go. I'll let this cure, reassemble the blaster, and we're going to do some test firing. So I'll see you back here in a second. Okay, I've got the Sentry reassembled and put back together. I've already test fired it a few times. As you see, I've got 9 shots or so. And I've been getting around about 90 feet per second, which is not bad considering just a very light 4.5 kilogram spring upgrade, which is not monstrous. Keep that in mind. Still has a light and easy prime. But with the included Precise Pros, I have had some hit over 100. But it's ranging, and it seems to go back and forth a bit between around 90-ish to 100. But that's not bad. Now this is with the Precise Pros. See, there's a low one at 80. Let's dig out some of my Elites here that I've fired into my net. Now, I did test with Elites, and I noticed significantly lower performance because the Elites don't fit the barrels anywhere near as well. See, there's between 70 to 84 plus, and that's what I've been getting. But keeping in mind, and I got one here that fits terribly. That one's got a terrible dart fit to that bottom barrel. I see that's a terrible shot there, but that's the Elites for you. The Precise Pros are doing much, much better. This one would be worthy of brassing, actually, I think, because you don't have to go insane on your spring rate if you get a good air seal, as you can see with the Precise Pros. But 4.5 kilogram, that's not bad. Not a bad result at all with what we've got to work with. And the reason for the 4.5 kilogram is it's still a very light, easy prime. And now with the locks removed, everything done, I can deprime it. It's just a little boost to performance. So there you go again. So using Precise Pros, which is what I use personally, I'm getting around 90 to 100. And that's really good out of such a small blaster. I mean, keep in mind, this thing is, you know, not much bigger than a Fire Strike. It's about that's about the size of it. And getting 90 to 100 feet per second out of Precise Pros, out of a very little inexpensive pistol. And in reality, all I spent was a few dollars on that spring. So very cheap upgrade. And this has a very quick, efficient way. The word of warning is those air restrictors are a bit of a pain to get out. One of the more difficult air restrictors I've ever taken out of any blaster I've modded. But hey, there's some results of the mod of the Buzz Bee Sentry. It's Mongoose Jake. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to do a little add-on here at the end of the video. I do hope you enjoyed the mod, but I want to give a shout out to my first ever patron, and that is Homely. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel. He does do videos of his own, and Patrick, who is Homely, he does a lot to support a lot of smaller channels, and I want to take the time to, you know, share that here in a little 30-40 second bit at the end of the video. And please do go check out his video selection on his channel. But I do appreciate everyone and anyone who comes around the channel, leaves a comment, leaves a like, if you ever do, share it, or go ahead and check out my Patreon. If you like what I do and you would like to support it directly, that is a way. I'm not going to push it, but I will mention it here and there. And I do thank Homely for becoming my very first patron I've ever had, and hopefully we can actually catch up sometime and I can take part in some of his local Nerf wars where he's putting a group together in the central Tennessee area. But something I want to add on the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it wasn't too long. Thanks.